Let's do it.
Good morning and welcome to Get Real America.
I'm Bill Edwards.
I'm Brittany Brown.
Glad to have you aboard this morning as we get ready to batten down the hatches.
Yes, the hurricane was upgraded last night to Category 4.
Hit Category 4 a couple of hours ago, and of course that can mean only like maybe 2 or 3 miles an hour, but still that does make a difference. Right now, it's not going to make a difference on the effect that we have here in Savannah, but we are under hurricane watch, and probably going to be under a tornado warning. There are already tornado warnings in parts of the state, including Glenn County to the south of us. That's the Brunswick area,
Okay.
and some other places as well. These hurricanes always have spawn these tornadoes here and there. So just be aware. And I remember the last time when Matthew came through here, because it's been about 7 years ago now. The water can get so saturated on the ground that even trees with deep roots can get loose and fall over. There was part of White Bluff Road here that was blocked off by a tree from the median that had fallen over. This is a pretty substantial tree too. We're not talking about a bush, and so they had to clear that out after the storm. But a hurricane warning is now in effect for the majority of the coastal empire right now and the Low Country. So this thing's going to go up to Charleston. Charleston roads flood even when a thunderstorm comes along.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be serious stuff. Be aware. Listen to everything that they say here at Chatham Emergency Management. These people are very good and they know what they're doing. We have a live look at River Street right now. We can take a look at that, I believe, and see just how things look at this point. There was some mild rain that started this morning. Had a little bit of a downpour that hit me about halfway in this morning, Brittany, and then it slacked off to a light drizzle.
Yes.
So that's what it's. You came in from the west side. How's it going there?
Turns out when there's a hurricane coming, there's not a lot of traffic. So, there was a light rain, but nothing. It was actually a lovely drive in this morning. The calm before the storm, I think.
Exactly.
Is the best way to describe it.
It's very calm right now, and that's the worst thing. My dad said that he was sometimes on hurricane watch when he was in the Coast Guard during the war, and he said that about an hour or two before the hurricane hit, the sea would get like glass. Just nothing. You can think, oh, nothing's coming, and then surprise.
Yeah. It's pretty wild, and people in Cedar Key, I believe, are already experiencing the flooding and the surging. And this was a few hours ago, but I think we have
taking a look at Cedar Key, Florida, and this beautiful little island right off there. This is the Big Bend area of Florida where they get very, very few storms like this. And certainly, I think this is the first Cat 4 that has ever hit. But take a look at this, and this is several hours ago. I saw one of the reporters out this morning that was standing in water that was already up to his knees.
I believe they said it was about 3 feet, and they're expecting around 12 to 15.
Right.
So
yeah, it's not looking good. It's going to do a great deal of damage. Around here, wind gusts are going to be around 74 miles an hour. They are closing the Sidney-Lanier Bridge in Brunswick at 10 o'clock this morning. At noon or at 2 o'clock, they're going to be closing the Talmadge Bridge here. The Houlihan Bridge in Pooler and Port Wentworth, that is going to be closed at 10 o'clock this morning to maritime traffic. You can still go across the Houlihan Bridge, and I think they're going to they'll be closing that shortly thereafter. But 2 o'clock for the Talmadge Bridge here in Savannah.
Wow.
So
make sure you're where you need to be.
Hunker down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you recommend that everyone, I know that at Tybee they were actually, for the first time, actually IDing people for sandbags to make sure they actually lived on Tybee.
Oh, really?
Yes. So pretty serious stuff, and I think that they have limited resources, and that's probably why.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
if you don't live on Tybee, you ain't entitled to one of their sandbags. That's all there is to it, unless you were going down there and digging up the beach yourself, I guess.
Yes. Well, and I know some friends that were also helping people that lived on the river do some sandbagging and stuff as well, because the surge will impact them. So, hopefully everyone's getting prepared and you guys are helping your neighbors. That's what community is all about. So I hope that people are helping each other, Bill.
Any information that you have, you can pass it along to us. Just email us.
Yes, at info@thelocalspin.com.
info@thelocalspin.com.
Yes.
Check it out there.
Yes. So there's also, they actually had a tornado as well in Florida. I think we have some video of that, which is really scary, Bill.
Yeah. Tornadoes are no fun. You don't know exactly where they're going to go next. That's the whole. When you see these things come down, the best thing to do is to pray that you're just out of the way more than anything else. So they are extremely dangerous. Those winds internally get to be over 200 miles an hour, and here you see this coming down, hitting power lines, and you see the sparks and stuff fly. Yeah,
it doesn't look real.
No, it doesn't. And they are. There's no way of getting away from one of these things if you get in that path.
So crazy.
Just pray that you stay through it.
Yes. And have you had a lot of tornadoes in Savannah area?
No. Fortunately not. Just in the outlying areas, and we've seen water spouts out at the beach, things like that. Okay. But for the most part, we've been spared any major tornado damage. There was a small one that came through, that went right through my neighborhood several years ago. And whether or not, if this was before Matthew, this has been about 12, 15 years ago now. But the subdivision across the street from us suffered a lot of damage. Oak trees were down, hitting houses and things of that nature. No houses were completely destroyed, but like half of it was, or something like that. So we've had these minor ones that have come through, and there was one in the radio station where I was working where you could see it came through the trees and went through the antenna field and destroyed this little house across the street from us. But you could see right through. There's a lot of bamboo and stuff like that. You could see it come right where it came right through that path. Lucky it didn't take down one of our towers.
Yeah, and this tornado seems a little bit different because it's not coming up through the coast; it's coming around, which is
the one that came.
Pattern.
Yeah, the one that had. I think it was. But it's been about 10 years ago now that devastated a lot of Georgia crops, and they're just now recovering because it takes like a lot of pecan groves, or pecans as we say here in the sunny South, were destroyed. And it takes about 12 years for a pecan tree from the time it's planted till the time it actually starts bearing fruit. So it takes a while to get that done. We lost 93 chicken houses.
Wow.
We lost cotton, peanuts, and agriculture is Georgia's biggest export. We feed ourselves and a lot of the rest of the world. So this was major stuff. And the worst part was trying to get. Yeah, because this was trying to get Congress to help these farmers who were dying because they could they needed funds to replant, rebuild, take care of tractor any equipment, farm equipment, and folks, if you don't think farming's important, maybe then you're not fond of eating. Okay, like the bumper sticker used to say, "Don't argue with the farmer with your mouth full." This is serious stuff. These people grow the food that we eat that keeps us alive. So for goodness sakes, whatever we can do to help the farmers. And we had a hell of a time getting money for them, and it had to work through our two senators, Congress people, and everything else to try to finally get the attention of the and Sonny Perdue was the agriculture secretary at the time. He's doing everything in his power to finally get it. They finally came through, but geez, it was just god awful.
Well, the other thing, Bill, is if disaster recovery looks anything like it has in Hawaii, I am not excited for that.
Oh, when you got feeble in charge, that's another thing.
Exactly. Mary McCann Hybrider's with us this morning, and she said in 2016 there was one in the landings during Hermione. Yeah.
Hermione.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
That's the name of, I think, the hurricane that was there. But yeah, so 2016, one in the landings, which is kind of surprising. But
Hey,
Not fun.
One
Not
of those
fun
barrier islands. It happens, and so we're not we're just getting into the woods. So we're not even out of the woods yet. Saturday's going to be a nice day, but what's going to be left behind? Make sure you got everything battened down. Bring in the pets, the kids, and everybody.
Yes, and Lizzie Warren says, think Disney with Hermione. And I'm wondering, isn't that like Harry Potter?
Yeah.
That's what I think of, but
Yeah.
anyways. Anywho.
But that's like a Scandinavian name of some sort. It was a very famous movie actress and theater star in the back in the 50s and 60s, Hermione Gingold.
Oh,
If you ever saw The Music Man, which is one of my favorite musicals of all time.
I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
Well, you're living a sheltered life. You really need to see The Music Man.
Okay, The Music Man. I'm putting it on the list.
But Hermione Gingold was in that one.
Okay.
She played the mayor's wife.
Okay, I'll look for her. But going back to Hawaii, they still have only said that there's 115 dead. How do they not know what's going on there?
800 missing. Wouldn't you know by now?
I think it's over 2,000.
Yeah,
it's over 2,000 that are missing. I watched a video of a lady. Yeah, so over 2,000 children missing from Lahaina public schools 2 weeks after the Maui fire. So how they're not being able to report how many people are missing is interesting to me. I don't really know if. So here's the other thing that I heard. I heard that Hawaii is left of California, if you can believe it. And a lot of the.
Well, look at their representatives. You've got Hiki Heki, from Hawaii, who's just an absolute loon.
Well, also, so it's very authoritarian there. The way that they've handled this and the way that they actually blocked people in. I don't know if people have heard that, but they actually blocked people in because they said that the power lines were active, which they were actually shut off 6 hours prior. And so they locked these people in. The people that survived are the ones that went around the police and went around the blockade. The people that did not survive are the ones that ended up in those cars as sitting ducks. So the way they handled
it kind of reminds you of that shooting, at school shooting in Texas, where the lady went in.
They did nothing.
And she said, "Well, I'm going in to get my kid." I said, "No, you can't go." She said, "The hell, I'm not." And she went in and got her kid.
Exactly.
And then her husband, a border patrol agent, is the one that took the guy out. And I'm sitting there scratching my head. How in the hell did a border patroll agent get?
And there was 12 cops in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Don't depend on the government to help you all the time. We have a good one here. We got a track record here, and SEMA and all of our first responders do an absolutely sensational and very professional job. But there are sometimes where, in the cases where they tell people to evacuate and they don't, and then they get in trouble and they call an emergency for help, and they said, "Hey, we
don't have
to
the
leave.
resources."
We can't send somebody out in this mess to come help you when we told you to get out of here."
Well, and Lizzie Warren says the Maui mayor looks about as incompetent as they come. You are correct.
Yeah, boy.
One of the reporters that was asking about how many children were missing and the death toll,
he didn't know.
He did not know, but he put one of the reporters got put in a headlock so he could not ask any more questions. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in Hawaii. Mary McCann Hybrider said they are building blackout walls around the entire perimeter of the disaster area. Complete media blackout. What are they hiding? And Lizzie Warren says that woman was incredibly brave in Texas.
Yeah, sure was.
Absolutely.
But she saved her child.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing. When you have police officers or first responders that are not brave and they're not doing their job, or police officers that take orders in which are not good, like keeping people from being able to evacuate a fire. I don't know how I could live with myself if I knew I was probably the reason that those people all perished.
Immoral orders. You can actually, there is a statute for that. That's an immoral order, and I will not follow it.
Yep, and very sad news out of Hawaii, and hopefully we get some answers, but who knows what that's going to look like, especially if they're putting a full media blackout on that area.
Fortunately, we here are a little better off, and we'll talk more about this coming up right after we pause to hear from the folks who helped pay for all this.
trains at 6 a.m. every morning. She spent years working to shave off seconds. She's the captain of her school's team. He's just a mid-pack finisher. But not today. Unfortunately, this competition was over before it even began.
Serving the Savannah area with the power of the Shield since 1934, with personal insurance, employee benefits, and business insurance. With integrity, security, and trust. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Come join us today at Sweet Potatoes Kitchen for some of that good Southern home cooking, like fried chicken, fish, and mouth-watering banana pudding. Say it's the best in the world, and you won't get an argument from me. Also, those vegetables are fresh and delicious. Voted Southside's best restaurant in Savannah at least 5 times, and large corporate parties are welcome. Tell them Bill Edwards sent you. Drop by and eat today. Everybody loves sweet potatoes.
Welcome back to Get Real America.
I'm Bill Edwards.
I'm Brittany Brown.
Glad to have you aboard here this morning and keeping you informed on what's going on storm-wise. So we've got one coming. The worst is going to be hitting us sometime around just before midnight tonight.
Yes, so good luck getting some sleep.
Yeah.
Joe Pilot's with us this morning, and he says, lunatics run Hawaii. People should go to jail. The police have too much power in this nation. Government needs to be reduced by at least 70%. That includes these municipalities that over-police for money making.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we're still waiting for people to go to jail over 9/11, but don't hold your breath.
Yeah, that hasn't happened. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there needs to be. They are launching an investigation into what happened in Hawaii. I'm trying to think of who it. I think it's Jim Jordan, perhaps.
I'm sure it's Jim Jordan.
But
he's a bulldog.
Well, someone needs to do something because the federal government says nothing to see here. We're not investigating anything. So yeah. I'm glad that they're jumping in because I do think that there is something that just doesn't feel right about the Hawaii stuff.
Well, they did come up with a law that said anybody that or an ordinance or something, but they said if you were contacted, if those people are contacted by some real estate developer or something, they could be fined, get a heavy fine, and go to jail. So if somebody's coming in to buy, a developer comes in and wants to buy your property, they've made that against the law or
good.
Which is good news.
Yes, agreed. And then Lizzie Warren says, FEMA employees in Hawaii are having to go through DEI training, taking away time from actually doing their job.
Yeah, this is the most amazing thing is that they're going through the feeble directors and all and people there. They're staying in a 5-star hotel at $1,000 a night. They're staying at the Four Seasons, and then 3 hours a day they're going through diversity training.
Ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
And Mary McCann Hybrader says, "Where are the children?"
Mm-hmm.
And Lizzie Warren says, I'll ate all my hurricane stacks last night. Lizzie Warren, you're going to have to go to the store.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to go get those snacks.
Yeah, better get them and go out early this morning. And also just be aware that the government's not going to help you much.
No, that's why we really need to.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah. Well, and we need to help our neighbors too. Make sure you're checking on your elderly neighbors and also people that maybe have small children that maybe need a little extra help. So
exactly.
Well, lots of other things to talk about, Bill, isn't there?
Yeah, there are. 2 sets of rules.
Of course there are.
There are rules for the Republicans and there are rules for the Democrats. If you're a Democrat, you don't have to worry about the law anymore. And we've got ample evidence now, once again, that's coming out about this idiot Jack Smith. And remember, he was overruled in one of his cases 9-0 by the Supreme Court. That's a feat, to get the Supreme Court to rule 9-0 on anything, even the sun coming up in the east. So there's new White House visitor logs that prove that Joe Biden has been heavily involved and all behind this Mar-a-Lago ride and everything else that's going on and trying to get rid of his top opponent who's going to beat him next year.
Yeah, no one saw this coming.
Logs just released suggest that Joe Biden is personally running the prosecutions of Donald Trump. The Biden White House was much more involved in the Mar-a-Lago raid than we ever realized. White House visitor logs suggest that the raid itself may have been hatched inside the Biden White House, and the special counsel prosecution on Donald Trump is still being coordinated by the White House. Jay Bratt, who's now the top aide to the special counsel, Jack Smith, was a Justice Department official and was summoned to the White House twice in the fall of 2021 to meet with Joe Biden's Deputy Chief of Staff, Carolyn Saba, and an advisor to the Chief of Staff, Catherine Riley. This was while Donald Trump was negotiating with the National Archives. Jay Bratt didn't want a negotiation. Jay Bratt wanted a raid and lobbied the Biden White House to raid Mar-a-Lago. Jay Bratt even visited Mar-a-Lago and told Donald Trump everything was fine. Just put a lock on the basement door. But everything wasn't fine. Joe Biden and his White House counsel signed off on revoking Trump's privilege. And weeks later, armed FBI agents got a warrant from a Trump-hating judge who happened to be an Obama donor and went in hard. And the Biden Justice Department indicted Donald Trump. Then Jay Bratt was tapped to be the top aide for special counsel Jack Smith. And what do you know? The Biden White House summoned Jay Bratt back to the White House to meet with, again, Biden's Deputy Chief of Staff. That was just in March. And weeks later, Donald Trump was indicted over the Mar-a-Lago documents. Why is the Biden White House conspiring with the Justice Department and the special counsel's office to prosecute Donald Trump? Joe Biden personally told us that he had nothing to do with the prosecution and it was totally independent.
I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge. I'm honest.
That's a lie. Not only do White House visitor logs prove that Joe Biden's team is working with the special counsel's office to raid and prosecute Joe Biden's top political opponent, the New York Times reported that Joe Biden was behind the urgent timeline. Joe Biden, quote, confided to his inner circle that he believed former President Donald J. Trump was a threat to democracy and should be prosecuted. And that Biden himself felt like Garland should, quote, act less like a ponderous judge and more like a prosecutor who's willing to take decisive action. All of the evidence now suggests Joe Biden was personally behind the prosecution of Donald Trump and the timing of his trial in order to interfere with the election. Today, a Democrat D.C. judge ruled that the January 6th trial, again prosecuted by Jack Smith, will begin March 4th, a day before Super Tuesday. What a coincidence. And the Mar-a-Lago documents trial begins in May. But the appeals process will take years, and that worries the left. Yesterday, MSNBC admitted the Trump trials aren't about administering justice. They're about disqualifying Donald Trump from having his name on the ballot. Watch.
As far as I'm concerned, all of these court cases, all of these indictments don't mean anything if he's still able to run for president next year. Unless he is found disqualified from running for president, he is still a danger to our democracy. So if this is a step in the direction of preventing him from running again or forcing him to step down, then it's great.
Democrat state officials will be taking legal action if Donald Trump's convicted to remove his name from the ballot and force the courts to figure it out. ABC News reports the plan's already in the works in New Hampshire. Joe Biden isn't even committing to debating Donald Trump. This isn't a battle of ideas. There's no effort at persuasion. This is the removal of a political opponent through brute force, through handcuffs.
Jesse Waters on Fox News night before last.
Well, and this is the thing. They're going to continue to go after Trump no matter what it takes. But the fact that it's out in the open and there's hardly anyone talking about it, Bill. Like no one's losing their minds. No one's, that's the thing about the right. We definitely do not. We try to, be polite and we try to do the right thing and, be better than the left. But
Yeah, you
It's not
got to
working
start.
for us.
Yeah, you got to start screaming from the rooftops. Sometimes, when you keep biting your lips, all you get is bloody lips.
Yes, and we have Mary McCann Hybrider going back to Hawaii. I heard there were approximately 3,000 children registered in area schools. Only 600 have been accounted for. That is devastating. And Lizzie Warren said, put a lock on the door with documents, another setup.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, maybe we got a big win here from the Vanguard School Board ruling that a guy is allowed to bring his wear his "Don't Tread on Me" flag on his backpack.
Yeah,
Jaden?
this was another setup as well.
Yeah, it was, but we've got some good news from that standpoint.
Thank you. Do they know what the Gadsden flag is? That it's a historical flag?
So the reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with
The Revolutionary
slavery and slave trade. That is what was, as the reasoning behind why we do not want it displayed.
The Gadsden flag.
The "Don't Tread on Me."
Okay. Which is the Gadsden flag. Okay, so he's what's gonna happen if he doesn't take it off?
He is able to go. I was actually just telling him, like, I was upset that he was missing so much school. I'm like, so I asked if can he just take his stuff out of his bag and go back to class. Like, I just want him to go back to class. The bag can't go back. It's got a patch on it because we can't have that in and around other kids. So that's what I was trying to, and then he said you were close. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with slavery. That's like the Revolutionary War patch that was displayed when they were fighting the British. Like that's the revolution. Maybe you're thinking of like the Confederate Confederate flag.
Okay, I am
Is there
just
history
here
that you
to
could
enforce.
tell me?
No, I am here to enforce the policy that was provided by the district, and definitely you have every right to not agree with it. I mean,
Yeah, because the
absolutely.
ACLU says that he's allowed to wear that. If you like go on their website, it's like says in big letters.
All I'm saying is that
Unless there's like a ban on patches, period. Like if you said there's no patches allowed at the school, you cannot display what you think or anything like that, or what cheer or anything like that. I think it's like one-sided, because you allow some patches but not other patches.
Kids have patches like other names and like the American flag on their backpacks.
Yeah. That was like flown during the revolution with, I just don't understand that at all.
so what I can do is
And if you go onto the ACLU's website, let's talk to someone, because I don't want a lawsuit, I really don't.
I can have you speak to Jeff Yoakum again.
Okay.
And then he can refer you to our person at the district.
Okay.
Because like I said, we're following district policy is what we're doing. So the last thing I want is him out of class.
Yeah, I know,
That's all
he
the last
takes
thing I
his
want.
classes seriously,
Yes.
he studies, he wants to get straight A's, he did that, he made honor roll when he was here before. He intends to do that again right now, but it's hard because he keeps missing class for this. So,
I understand that.
yeah, and I mean, we teach him to always stick up for your beliefs, and I mean, you're going over the revolution for 7th grade. I mean, the founding fathers stood up for what they believed in against unjust laws. This is unjust.
Okay, like I said, we're upholding a policy that was provided to us, which we have to uphold.
Okay, can you show me where the policy?
So big win there. That he is allowed to have that flag on his backpack. The Vanguard School Board of Directors called an emergency meeting, so they acted very quickly, which I appreciate. And their statement was, from Vanguard's founding, we have proudly supported our Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the ordered liberty that all Americans have enjoyed for almost 250 years.
Really?
Yep. The Vanguard School recognizes the historical significances of the Gadsden flag and its place in history. So,
But did I hear somebody compare that to the Confederate flag?
yes, this woman is terrible. I think she should lose her job for making a big deal out about this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Let her go. I don't know, sweep streets or something.
Yeah. 7th grader standing up for what he believes in, braver than a lot of the adults that I know. So,
Yeah, boy, isn't that the truth?
Yes.
All right, coming up next, we have a grieving Gold Star dad that is just telling, doesn't have very nice things to say about the Commander-in-Chief. That's coming up. Stay real.
Are you a mom or dad? Do you have little kids with big dreams? Well, hopefully your kids aren't white or Asian, because if they are, they will have a very hard time getting into their dream college or landing their dream job. Top schools and corporations are run by left-wing Democrats, and they openly discriminate against whites and Asians. So even if your daughter has the best test scores, even if your son has amazing grades, even if they spend extra hours studying and doing everything right, it won't be enough. Unless you suddenly discover that you're part Cherokee, or transgender, or in the country illegally. Otherwise, your kids are out of luck. Which begs the question, if Democrats are hurting your children, why would you ever vote for them? Stop the bigotry. Stop the insanity. Paid for by Citizens for Sanity.
When I grow up, I want to work for a woke company, like super woke.
When I grow up,
I want to be hired based on what I look like,
rather than my skills.
I want to be judged
by my political beliefs.
I want to get promoted
based on my chromosomes. When I grow up, I want to be offended
by my coworkers
and walk around the office
on eggshells
and have my words policed
by HR. Words like
grandfather,
peanut gallery,
long time no see,
no can do.
When I grow up,
I want to be obsessed with emotional safety and do workplace sensitivity training all day long.
When I grow up, I want to climb the corporate ladder.
Just by following the crowd.
I want to be a conformist.
I want to weaponize my pronouns. What are pronouns?
It's time to grow up and get back to work. Introducing the #1 woke-free job board in America, redballoon.work.
Come join us today at Sweet Potatoes Kitchen for some of that good Southern home cooking, like fried chicken, fish, and mouth-watering banana pudding. Say it's the best in the world, and you won't get an argument from me. Also, those vegetables are fresh and delicious. Voted Southside's best restaurant in Savannah at least 5 times, and large corporate parties are welcome. Tell them Bill Edwards sent you. Drop by and eat today. Everybody loves sweet potatoes.
Serving the Savannah area with the power of the Shield since 1934, with personal insurance, employee benefits, and business insurance. With integrity, security, and trust. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Welcome back. I'm Bill Edwards.
I'm Brittany Brown.
And here's a look at Tybee Island right now. This is live on the traffic cam, and going out actually Highway 80 going toward Tybee. So
yes.
Things are still open right now, but when the tide comes in and the rain starts, they're probably going to be closing 80 because just normally when we have high tides and we got a full moon coming tomorrow, we got that blue moon, second full moon in August.
Is it a blue or an orange?
Blue.
Okay.
Or it might be fuchsia.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Chartreuse.
It's supposed to be beautiful, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. If you'll be able, hopefully you'll be able to see it.
Yes. And so I heard Chatham and porn for children was educational. Steve Statton Sr., thank you for bringing up our next topic.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Savannah Chatham school system actually, had an experience with libs of TikTok. They were actually blocked from the Savannah Chatham public school system yesterday. They did release...
Which takes a lot.
Yeah, well, they released a statement, and, it's just interesting to me.
This is one of the pieces of pornography that they have in our Chatham County schools, okay?
Yeah, it's disgusting. And they basically doubled down yesterday. And it says the Savannah Chatham County Public School System is to empower and inspire all learners to excel in a global society. Why would they use that term, global society? The Media Center promotes intellectual freedom within the school community by providing access to a variety of information, ideas, and resources. Parents may request that their children not be permitted to check out certain books. In addition, please see the section of the Student Code of Conduct, page 15. Well, I think that the school system probably got a lot of attention yesterday after Libs of TikTok posted about it and tagged them. And, I will say the superintendent Watts, I'm not sure if she approved the messaging that went out, but she is new to the school system. I'm hoping she does something about it. Libs of TikTok did go after her pretty hard. At Denise Watts is a superintendent. Would be a shame if everyone tagged her and asked why she wants kids to read gay porn. So they were blocked from
You'd be arrested giving these books to kids outside the school.
Yes, and let's see. Lizzie Warren says it is legal for the school system official. Is it legal for the school system's official page to block anyone? I asked Bill the same question this morning. I was like, can they do that? I don't think that they're able to do that. It's
supposed to.
It's publicly paid for, so you shouldn't be able to block anyone. Yep.
Okay, and the school should remember. Yeah, we're paying for you. We're paying your salary. I know it's one of those old saws, but we pay your salary. And what the public wants is what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. And we don't want these books have no business in the school. Frankly, I don't think they had any business being published in the first place. But people that write this garbage, and that's the nicest thing I can say about it. And it has no business being in the school system. If they want to have it in the public library that's run by the communists now, the American Library Association is a bunch of left-wing loons, but then so be it. But it does not belong in the public school system. And when parents say they don't want it there, we want you to get rid of them. And I have these stupid editorials that we get from what's left of the Savannah Morning News, because it's not a local paper anymore, another one of these corporate buyout pieces of crap. But we got a left-wing loon who's also the editor who said, well, most of the time these books collect more dust than anything else. Not many people ever check them out. Oh, that's an excuse?
They shouldn't be available at all.
Exactly.
And Lizzie Warren brings up the most excellent point, at least in my opinion. Our kids can't read at grade level, global, really. And that's my issue, too, is like, why are you guys so set on having these books in the school? Like, it's not educational. It doesn't help at all. And our kids can't read. Why are we not focused on that? Like, you guys are doubling down on porn being in the schools. I don't understand it.
Here's the thing that always gets me about the education system and the people that run it now, and all the commie pinkos, saying that you need to get that book learning. Here's those textbooks. Here you need to know what's in this book. This is really important. But then when it comes to those pornographic books, they say, don't worry about these books, because it's just a book. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about this. It's just a book.
Yep. And Mary McCann Highbreeder says gay porn is educational. Explain that to me. Sorry, a lot of comments coming in about this. Mm-hmm. Lizzie Warren says contact Jesse Petrie and Ben Watson to remove the exemption from the Georgia law that allows these books. Steve Stanton says we are going to have to apologize to the coming generations for doing nothing in the face of evil. And Lizzie Warren says children are required to attend school. It's a compulsory. The library is not. The online digital libraries show that many are actually being checked out. That's disturbing. Mm-hmm. And Mary McCann Highbreeder says intentional dumbing down of society. Absolutely. I do think that these are public schools. I don't understand why they think it's necessary, especially, one of the arguments was, well, it was compared to the Bible bill from someone that sits on the school board, and I just could not believe that was the comparison. It's ridiculous. Yeah. There is a school board meeting the beginning of September, so I suggest that everyone goes out to the school board meeting and makes your voices heard to the new superintendent, as well as the new president of the school board, Roger Moss, along with the rest of the board who has continued to be in their seats. So
there's reference to that it's like the same as the Bible. No, the Bible talks about Sodom and Gomorrah and things of that nature. What happened to them? What did God do to that place? Okay? It's used as a bad example in many cases. And the other parts they're talking about as far as the sex goes are genuine love stories. It's not pornography. There is a difference. And how is this helping those kids learn arithmetic? Except the biology part where 1 and 1 makes 3. So knock it off.
Yep, and our state rep and senator are aware of these books in the local schools here, says Lizzie Warren, and Steve Stanton says forced acceptance and compliance. And I will say that that school board meeting is on September 6th, and I actually believe that that's a 6 p.m. meeting. So hopefully we can get a lot of people there, because normally they're at 2. So I believe that the September one's at 6.
And don't be one of these people that cowers when they say, oh, you're a part of this book burning, just like the Nazis, the book burning. Oh, please. The books shouldn't be there in the first place. They have no educational value whatsoever.
No, I want to hear each of them read it out loud. That's what I want. I want them to read it out loud.
Yeah, you heard that. I love the 10-year-old kid up in Maine, or maybe he's 12, reading from the book. And I presume it got banned after that. The media does a lousy job of following up on these stories.
Yeah, well, there was another school board in California, and they actually, this woman was mad at the person for reading the book out loud because her 13-year-old daughter was in there. Imagine that. But you're okay with it being in the schools.
Yeah.
Just don't read it out loud to my daughter.
Exactly. Well, going back 2 years ago, we lost 13 of our most brave. These wonderful people who were out there protecting us, and we had 3 chances, or maybe it was 4, to take out the bomber. And nobody would give the order to shoot. Now you can just imagine what would have happened in World War II. What would have happened? What would have been done to some soldier or something who didn't shoot at the enemy? He'd probably get shot by his buddies. Yep. So a grieving Gold Star dad was going before Congress earlier this week, and he was not happy with the commander-in-chief.
Not a single person has been held accountable. Our so-called leader can't seem to even utter their names in public, not even once. Mr. Biden has run his entire political campaign for 50 years as the family man. Well, I've got news for you, sir. The curtain has been lifting, and that campaign slogan will never work again. We have seen what's going on in your family, and even worse, we've seen how you've been treating us as Gold Star families. And there couldn't be anything more disgusting and cowardly than the way you have treated us. You are a disgrace to this nation. You have no business having ultimate command over our military, and I regret not saying that to your face when I had the opportunity in Dover. I felt it more important to bite my tongue, but I also had more important things on my mind at that time, like receiving my son's lifeless body stateside. While I stood there on the tarmac, watching you check your watch over and over again, all I wanted to do was shout out, "It's 2:30, asshole." But out of respect to the other grieving families, I bit my tongue once again. Well, as you could probably tell by now, I'm done biting my tongue. You, sir, stole their lives, their futures, their dreams, and have ripped apart 13 families. You cannot even man up and admit that. You, sir, gave us all the title Gold Star family. You, sir, discredit honor and integrity. 2 years later, there are things I find myself thinking about. Where and what was Biden's logic sneaking out of Bagram in the middle of the night before ever getting a single Afghan partner or American civilian out? This is the purest definition of intentional negligence. This is just one of many irresponsible and negligent decisions coming from the White House. In addition, leaving behind billions of dollars of our finest military hardware has led to the biggest international free market in history. Unfortunately, this will undoubtedly lead to more American military lives lost in the future. Between what has been happening here domestically, for example, the border, over the last 2.5 years, and all your failed foreign policy decisions, I would venture a guess that you have more American blood on your hands, Mr. Biden, than any president in U.S. history.
Is that guy going to stay in the middle of the road, or is he going to actually speak his mind?
Yeah, well, Steve Stanton says that guy needs to run for Congress.
Amen to that.
I can't imagine that the thoughts that you think about in the middle of the night are really all of the things that Biden did wrong and how he could be so incompetent. Mary McCann Hybrider said, I think we're all tired of biting our tongue. And Lizzie Warren says, negligence compounded by incompetence.
Yeah. And remember, the Dalai Lama and his crew put a young Army lieutenant in jail. He was finally pardoned by Donald Trump. I thought Trump should have done it the first day he came in office, but nevertheless, he finally got him out of Leavenworth. He spent about 6 or 7 years there because he gave an order to shoot a couple of peace-loving Muslims that were on bicycles coming down the hall. And a couple of days before, one of our platoons was severely decimated by a couple of guys on bicycles coming toward them. But yet, and he was right. But yet he spent 7 years behind bars in Leavenworth because of it, of cell where the wildebeest and the Dalai Lama ought to be.
Yeah, I think that we've seen a lot of tragedies when it comes to our military. I think that a lot of bad decisions have been made. And I don't know where we got to in this country where we don't allow people that are high-ranking people in the military to make decisions on the ground. Why did everything need to go up through Obama? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. He was never on the ground. He never knew what it was like, and I don't think he ever served in any of the military.
No, he didn't.
So makes a huge difference.
Communist. He was raised by a communist. There's no getting around it. You can scream and holler all you want. You have some Democrat friends that will stand up for this cretin. But he was a communist. He was raised by a communist. He never went to a July 4th celebration when he was growing up as a kid. He didn't even like his white parents. He said that. That's
terrible. And Lizzie Warren says every person who voted for Biden owns it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly right. You fell for the propaganda. Just pathetic. All right, coming up next.
You know, you were at the Kiwanis convention this weekend, and you were able to talk to Rhonda, who had written a book. So we'll be talking to
several
her.
of them. Yeah, Rhonda Rich on board next.
Who is a kid? Well, that's a kid. And another. Look, a gaggle of them. Or is it a herd? Litter? Pride. But what about her? Tell her she's not a kid. Or him. So how do we tell who is a kid? Height? Age, maybe. But some of us have to grow up faster than others. A kid. A kid. A kid wants to make the world better. And one day, he just might. Is a kid fearless? Vulnerable? Strong? Nervous? Yes. 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 Kiwanis is 600,000 kids at heart doing all the little and big things it takes to help children around the world. Because kids need Kiwanis. All of them.
Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah.
When you're looking to buy a business or sell a business, the experts at Best Business Brokers have you covered. Whether you're ready to cash in on your years of hard work or you're taking that first step in buying a business of your own, they're here to guide you through the process and make sure you get the best outcome possible. By having Best Business Brokers assist you when you buy a business or sell a business, they handle the legwork of the intricate process. This ensures a smooth transition of ownership, allowing you to get to work immediately or receive payment for your business as soon as possible. With base operations in Savannah and Charleston, they service all of Georgia and South Carolina. If you're considering starting a business here, the mild winters and 5-tiered economic areas make these the perfect places to do so. If you're ready to buy a business or sell a business, then you're ready to contact Best Business Brokers. Visit their website at b3brokers.com or call at 912-349-0940.
Serving the Savannah area with the power of the Shield since 1934, with personal insurance, employee benefits, and business insurance, with integrity, security, and trust. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Come join us today at Sweet Potatoes Kitchen for some of that good Southern home cooking, like fried chicken, fish, and mouth-watering banana pudding. Say it's the best in the world, and you won't get an argument from me. Also, those vegetables are fresh and delicious. Voted Southside's best restaurant in Savannah at least 5 times, and large corporate parties are welcome. Tell them Bill Edwards sent you. Drop by and eat today. Everybody loves sweet potatoes.
Welcome back to Get Real America.
I'm Bill Edwards.
I'm Brittany Brown.
Once again, we're under a tropical storm warning and actually a hurricane warning and watch, and probably the worst part of it's going to hit us here in Savannah sometime around 6 o'clock tonight. We thought it was going to be a little bit earlier or a little bit later, but the storm is moving faster than they thought it was going to, and the faster it moves, the better. Get the hell out of here.
Yes, it should move fairly quickly, it looks like, and they're predicting about 10.5 feet at Fort Pulaski for the storm surge. So I believe that's only a couple of feet below what Matthew and Irma were. So just be prepared for that if you're out on the island.
They're going to be closing the Talmadge Bridge at 2 o'clock this afternoon. They may close it earlier. We'll keep you posted on that.
Yep.
All right. Meanwhile, one of the great things of the Kiwanis International District, the Georgia District of Kiwanis International, had its annual convention here in Savannah over the weekend at the Marriott. And once again, kudos out to the Marriott people. They were fantastic. And one of the things I enjoy most about going to these things is meeting fellow Kiwanians from around the state, the district, and also the young kids that we have there, because Kiwanis is all about kids, as you've seen on the PSAs that we've been running all here. And they also have great speakers at their dinners, and one of them on Saturday night, the keynote address was from Rhonda Rich, a Southern lady who back in 1999 came out with a book called What Southern Women Know and That Every Woman Should, and it was a runaway bestseller. Have my autographed copy right here. Wish I had the hardback, but I don't. I'll try to find one somewhere. You can probably find it on Amazon or someplace like that. But Rhonda is a best-selling author. That was a runaway bestseller. She's written several books since then. A lot of them have a religious bent, and I'll tell you also a war story about that a little bit later. But her other book is just out. This is a brand new one that's just out called St. Simon's Island. And this is a mystery. She started a mystery series. It's one of the few times that she's written a novel and not a true, not true to life type stuff. But St. Simon's Island, and this just hit the bestseller list.
Very cool.
Last week. So congratulations to Rhonda. Had a chance to speak with her about her career and about being at the Kiwanis Convention on Saturday night. The long and the short of your message was, don't give up, believe in yourself.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think I think especially in today's times, the media and other people say you should do this or you should do this or you can't do this or you can't do that. But I just read today where Dolly Parton's corporate title in her company that owns a record label and a publishing company and a movie company, that her title is called Dreamer in Charge. And I love that. We should all be dreamers.
Well, I mean, you've had such an eclectic career. I mean, from NASCAR to writing books on just life.
Sports writing. I was a sports writer. Yes.
But NASCAR teaches so much.
Yes. Yes.
What you learn and how people work their hearts out to get just an extra foot.
Yes, and it's much different today than it was back then. Now you can have an 18-year-old get in a great car and take off and win the Daytona 500. In the years when I was coming along, it was much harder because, you'd have guys, and I give the example of Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett, who became NASCAR champion and won many races. He was 28 years old, still going from car to car, just filling in when there was a sick driver. And then he kept after it, and he's in the NASCAR Hall of Fame now. So, sometimes we put limit on dreams as far as age goes, and we shouldn't do that. I heard the great Dr. Charles Stanley, the preacher, say one time that most of our greatest successes come after the age of 60. And that's something wonderful to look ahead of. The Bible's very clear on our best days are ahead. They're not behind us. They're not now. They're still ahead.
And here you've just written was your first novel?
This is my second novel.
Second
I
novel.
do not normally write Southern nonfiction. I have a syndicated column that runs in 47 newspapers across the Southeast with 1 million readers every week. But this is a new novel called St. Simon's Island, a Stella Bankwell mystery. And Stella Bankwell is a new character I've introduced. One of her best friends is named Micajah Burnett. And he is based on my beloved friend, former U.S. Senator Zell Miller. And I loved writing that character. But Stella and her friends will be solving mysteries on all the islands off the coast of Georgia. So the next book happens on Sapelo Island.
Fantastic. All right, and this is. It's fun to come up with these characters like this, and they kind of come from life too, do they not?
They do come from life, and I do have to have someone that I base a character on. There is another great character in the book. His name's Chatham Balsam Coquit IV. Comes from very old money. His nickname is Chatty, and he's based on a friend of mine. He's just like him, except he doesn't have any old money. His oldest money is 3 weeks old, but he's based on him.
This just hit the bestseller list, didn't
Just
it?
hit the bestseller list.
Congratulations.
Sold out on Amazon the first day.
Well, listen, thank you so much for being
You
here
are
tonight.
so welcome.
Thanks for the positive message.
Thank
and,
you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. You keep up the good work and spread the happy spirit to everybody, that we can't get pulled down by things the way that we see them. We've got to keep our heads up and our hopes high and keep working, and we never know what wonderful things are going to happen. As I said tonight, my best friend from high school and I last week, Karen Peck, broke the record for the most #1 records in Southern gospel music, and I hit the bestseller list on the same day, and it only took us 2,833 weeks to get there.
Absolutely fantastic. There's a television producer named Squire that produced this book called God Winks.
I know Squire Rushnell.
Yes.
We know him well, yes.
And he talks about that. You've got
Yes.
a God wink here.
Yeah, we know. In fact, my husband wrote the 2 God Winks holiday movies for Hallmark.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Connections everywhere. I'm telling you. You never know.
Thanks, Rhonda. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And what you see is what you get, kind of like Paula Dean. She's absolutely genuine, but What Southern Women Know and What Every Woman Should was her first book that was a runaway bestseller. And I got her invited on The View when Barbara Walters was still there. And she said, and we'll tell you a story about that tomorrow, about how excited she was about it, and then found out that maybe Barbara wasn't everything she was cracked up to be. But that story for another day. As we wrap it up here, once again, we'll keep you informed about the storm. Please stay safe and obey whatever the people at Chatham Emergency Management or whatever tell you. As we leave you this morning, I'm going to show you my new kitty, Boone. We named him Boone because he was found, our daughter actually rescued him from Boone, up in Boone, North Carolina, on the side of a road.
He is so cute.
This is his first experience with bubbles. He's in the sink here, and he can't figure out just exactly what bubbles are. You can't eat it. You can't drink it. You can touch it, and there's not much there.
He's so curious.
He is totally confused. This is a smart cat. He's not afraid of anything. He attacks the other cats who are 10 times his size, and also our dog Charlie. Now he decided maybe, okay, I'll check out what's in the garbage disposal. But then he says, oh, well, all right, nothing there. Let me look at these bubble things again. Exactly what? Let me one more time. Let me see what this is. So Boone is a terror.
He's adorable, though.
I'm telling you, he is. And as my wife always said, it's a good thing he's cute.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yep. They broke some dishes last night. Just amazing.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's fun, Bill.
Climbing in the cabinet.
Oh,
and
geez.
there you go. Get curiosity.
I love it. He's
All
so
right.
cute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. But there's Boone, and
yes,
we are just delighted to have him. We're glad she saved him.
Yes, and Lizzie Warren says, "Aw, cat people," with a bunch of heart. Mary McCann Highbreeder says, "I love the book. I met Squire many years ago." And Steve Stanton says, "Stay safe. Don't take unnecessary things. Prayers for all of those in the path of the hurricane."
Yeah.
Yes.
Squire's, the book she was talking about was called God Winks, and it's about all these wild coincidences that happen in life that sometimes save your life.
Yes.
It's a great book called God Winks. Highly recommend it to you in addition to Rhonda Rich's books.
Yes. Well, thanks for tuning in today. Remember, you can keep our show going by donating. You can become an advertiser if you own a business and want to advertise with a conservative audience. You can also, if you're interested in becoming an investor and owning part of a TV broadcasting station, reach out to us.
For sure. We need your help, please. And stay real. Remember, you can't spell Democrat without R-A-T. Stay safe. We'll have financial advice and aviation advice for you tomorrow.